Welcome to another episode of Piecing It Together, the podcast where we take a look at a new movie and try to figure out what movies might have inspired it. And today on the show, we are live from Maya Cinemas to talk about The Mummy. No, not that mummy. Lee Cronin's The Mummy. And we have a great show coming up here. Joining me, we've got Kris West, Knik Woods, and Gino Ristoski. We had a great time over there at Maya Cinemas. Very last-minute show, but we had a great turnout. Really fun conversation. That's coming up here in a second. Before we get to it, I do want to remind you, as always, to make sure you are subscribed to Piecing It Together wherever you listen to podcasts. Also, I want to remind you, we have another live show this week on Michael. This one's going to be at Galaxy Theaters Boulevard Mall. It's this Thursday, April 23rd. Check piecingpod.com for info, and of course, get subscribed while you're there. And with that said, let's talk about The Mummy.
That Morse code said the mummy will be back at Avengers Doomsday.
There you go.
Yes, indeed.
I'm David Rosen, the host of the Piecing It Together podcast. We're going to talk about Lee Cronin's The Mummy. But before we get to the movie, I want to introduce my guests right here. Starting off, Kris, introduce yourself to everybody.
My name is Kris West. I am a podcaster, filmmaker, photographer. I do everything. Too much stuff.
Welcome to the club, honestly. But yeah, no, happy to have you back on a live show. It's been a while since you've been on one.
Fun. This is a fun one.
Yeah, it'll be cool to talk about. Knik, introduce yourself to everybody.
I'm back. Knik Woods. I'm a filmmaker here in Las Vegas.
Absolutely. And Gino, first time on the show. Introduce yourself.
Thank you for having me. My name is Gino Ristoski. I'm a sound mixer and a boom operator. Thank you.
Yeah. And when I was first chatting with Gino about being on the show, I was like, I think this movie's going to have some like really creepy, gross sound effects. So you're going to be perfect to have on this episode. So yeah, happy to have you here. So getting into this movie, I mean, obviously this was going to be something very different from the other movies on The Mummy that we've seen, whether going back all the way to the Universal stuff, to the Brendan Fraser, of course, and like all the different kind of versions, the Tom Cruise, like this is like a very, very different thing from any of those. And I think we all kind of knew that going in, but it's still exciting to see a fresh take on something like this. I think as we're getting into the puzzle pieces, we'll get into like some of how this all kind of came about. But like first, I just want to go down the line really quick and just get your opinions on The Mummy as a franchise, as a character. Like, what do you guys think about The Mummy as a character?
I'll go first.
Yeah.
I think the mummy is slept on a little bit. Like Frankenstein's super popular, Wolfman or Werewolf, Dracula. I don't know if people think about the mummy as often. So, but it obviously is a staple in that, right?
It's still a staple, yeah, and it can be translated into so many different ways. But yeah, I think you're right, though. I think as far as the other Universal monsters are concerned, it is kind of a little bit slipped on. So
there is obviously a lot you can do with it, right?
Yeah.
It's exciting to see like a modern take on the most ancient of stories.
It is quite ancient. You're absolutely right. How about you, Knik?
Yeah, I haven't really been like a nerd for like the Mummy stuff particularly. I like the Brendan Fraser ones. I thought they were fun. They're part of my youth.
Yeah.
Right. But never really like, felt any particular way about the particular series. One thing that I think is interesting though is that Universal originally, I grew up like with Universal being like Back to the Future and a bunch of other movies that weren't horror related. But when they started out as a film company, they were almost predominantly horror and thriller type stuff. And it's cool the fact that the kind of passing the torch to Blumhouse, because that's exactly what Blumhouse has done. It started out with just horror as well. So it makes the history of Universal, it makes sense that they're kind of holding hands together on this one.
Sure.
I think it's kind of cool. So.
Absolutely. How about you, Gino?
Actually, this is the first Mummy I've seen.
There you go.
Yeah. Yeah, I haven't seen the original ones. Actually, it's funny when people say, oh, you work in film, you must watch a lot of movies. Honestly, I don't.
Yeah?
A lot of them are boring.
Okay, all right.
Hell yeah.
So, yeah, I have seen the trailer of the other mummies. I just haven't actually watched them. And this one is different than the rest of it.
Yeah, totally. And the Brendan Fraser one, anything but boring. But
Their action
Knocks
films
on the
are great,
moon.
yeah.
it's so much fun. But it'll be interesting when we get to some puzzle pieces here to hear what you got there. But yeah, I'm going to kick it off. So for anyone who hasn't watched Piecing It Together or listened to a Piecing It Together episode before, what we do is we talk about a movie through the lens of what movies might have inspired this movie. And I don't usually do this, but I feel like it's especially apt for this episode. I'm going to go to Lee Cronin's other films and start off with The Hole in the Ground and his previous film before this, which was Evil Dead Rise. This movie feels like he got a whole bunch of money to take the ideas he's been working with between those two movies and put them on a bigger, larger scale. For anyone who hasn't seen The Hole in the Ground, it's a smaller indie movie. It's about a kid who goes missing in a hole in the ground and comes back, but he's not the same as he was when he disappeared. Clearly, he's working through some stuff here and trying similar ideas. And then for anyone, anyone who knows this show knows I'm a huge Evil Dead fan. When Evil Dead Rise came out, it was a huge deal for me. I liked it, didn't love it, but like it was good. I think Lee Cronin has a nice little mean streak in him, and it was fun to see some of the Deadite stuff that he does in that movie. But the style of filmmaking, he's definitely continuing along that same path here. So he definitely does seem to be in a lane between these three movies. I'm curious to see if he stretches out anywhere else as he continues to grow as a filmmaker. But any of you guys fans of his other films?
I haven't seen
This is the
that.
first
Well, I
of-
saw Evil Dead Rise,
Yeah.
and this is Evil Dead Rise 2
Right.
in Egypt.
Which is funny because they offered him to do another Evil Dead, and he was like, I think I don't want to get typecast. I want to do something else. And it's like, you did Evil Dead
Do you
with
think
a
it's
mummy.
possible that this wasn't Evil Dead, a sequel that got turned into a mummy film? Because it feels, we're already doing puzzle pieces, I guess.
Yeah.
It feels very much like there's so much Evil Dead stuff in this movie.
Totally.
already.
Yeah. I mean, essentially, it starts off as The Hole in the Ground 2 and turns into Evil Dead Rise 2, like you said. And like they turn into Deadites basically by the end of this movie. So
We got a Henrietta in there.
we even get a Henrietta.
They were
Loved
like,
that.
oddly sexual too.
Yes,
Like,
yes. Yeah.
No, that's
I'm sure Sam Raimi was happy watching this movie.
I bet he geeked out on it.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So, well, let's move into some other stuff here. Chris, what do you got first?
the first one I got is Seven by David Fincher.
Okay.
The whole investigative part, desert shots. They even had the like box. I was waiting for her to be like, "What's in the box?"
Yeah. Sure. Yeah.
There, again, even the like grotesqueness and whatnot is it's a little not overdone, but I don't know what the right word is. There's a lot of it.
Yeah, and it's focused on it a lot. Yeah, and I hadn't thought of Seven, but now that you bring it up, the obsession with finding out the answers to the whole thing and having to know what's in there, I think that goes there too.
Even like the videotape stuff, the finding the clues, it just had a very Seven feel. And again, there were specific shots in this where I was like, "That's in Seven." It looked like they shot in the same desert as Seven.
Possibly, yeah, it's very possible. But yeah, no, that's a really good one to bring up here. I like it. Nick, let's go to you.
I mean, mine's probably the most obvious one, but it's one of my favorite movies, so I feel like I have to say it. The Exorcist.
Yeah, sure.
I mean, there's so many callbacks to The Exorcist in this, particularly with that finale where he's like, he wants the spirit to come into him. That is The Exorcist.
Yeah.
But her, like, reacting to, any kind of, like, holy things and stuff like that. Just possessed girl in the house. I mean, it has all of that Exorcist vibe stuff going on in it. And the funny thing is that I wrote in my notes, I wrote Exorcist the second that we were in Egypt.
Yeah.
When just the shots looked like Iran
Yeah.
at the beginning of Exorcist, I was like, man, this is really reminiscent of that.
Yeah.
And if they're going to have like a mummy and demons and all that shit, and we're already starting here, I was like, mind you, it's going to start in Egypt, but just the way the shots were done, it made me feel like those archaeological digs at the beginning of The Exorcist. And I love that stuff. So
I had the same feeling about Seven. I was like,
you saw the Mojave Desert stuff, and
Exactly.
you're like, this looks exactly like Seven.
yeah, it's weird. We had the same thing, just two different movies.
Well, and also to The Exorcist, we get the dogs in here too, which they
Yeah.
know something's up. But this is a much better Exorcist than David Gordon Green's Exorcist from a
I
few
totally
years
agree.
ago,
They're
so.
synchronizing.
Oh,
oh
God.
my God, guys.
Hey,
Let's not
yeah,
do
yeah.
Even
that,
getting
please.
strangled with the with the what is it called?
Yeah, with the rosary.
Yeah,
that was
the rosary.
dope, dude.
Yeah, it was
oh
good
my
stuff.
God,
It
that
looked
was
practical
great.
too.
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
going around her
Yeah.
neck.
I will. It's funny because I always herald Exorcist as being this like. I still feel like it holds up as far as like how edgy it is and stuff. And yet the things in this film actually I felt like went farther, and I was like, man, there are things that they could have done in The Exorcist that they didn't do, right? Like,
Who
yes,
doesn't
they have
like-
like this, like there's a self mutilation aspect, right? That happens, but then like the devouring of the grandma's guts and all that, like she attacks other people, like Reagan attacks other people in The Exorcist, but it doesn't. I didn't realize it until watching this. It doesn't get gory, or get like she doesn't do anything where like more than just the detective, like the police would actually have to come into the house.
Sure.
You know what I mean? She assaults a priest by grabbing his nuts or whatever, but that's about it, like,
Yeah.
so yeah, I don't know, just thinking about it, I was like, man, Friedkin could have gone harder. And I never really considered that before. So
Who doesn't like kids cursing either?
Yeah,
that's
kids
good time.
cursing is always good. Absolutely. Gino, let's go to you. What's the movie that you thought might have inspired this in some way?
What's the movie with the two girls?
Parent Trap?
No,
The Shining.
no. Yeah,
The Shining.
I also like because there's like two girls. Like first the one girl and the other one got possessed. That's what I thought of.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I was wondering if the dad was gonna like go crazy as he was starting to and he didn't really. It was all the rest of the family members that are kind of like getting taken over by all this stuff.
Yeah.
But I was wondering if that's where it was gonna go too. I kept thinking this is probably gonna go in Exorcist directions, but then the Shining directions, and it kind of ended up going in these other directions instead. But yeah, no, absolutely. So, and I mean, what horror movie is not inspired in some way by The Shining?
Something I noticed now. I didn't notice this before, but I was looking up the soundtrack for The Shining because I wanted to listen to it, not realizing that it wasn't a soundtrack. That it's Penderecki, this
Right,
really
right.
experimental Polish composer.
Yeah.
And it was music he'd already recorded. That Kubrick's just a nerd and likes listening to that stuff. And him putting that stuff in The Shining has formatively changed horror films entirely.
Yeah.
Everybody's score now sounds like a Penderecki
Sure.
like opus.
Yeah.
They all sound like that. And before that you had like Psycho and stuff, but you didn't have these like it's just all noises.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Sure.
Now
Yeah.
it's every horror film. It's wild.
Changed everything.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah.
I will go. I'll stick with the Universal movies and go with last year's Wolfman reboot, which kind of it took the idea of like, what if he's not like the Wolfman, he's a Wolfman, and like how does this person deal with becoming a Wolfman? And like that's kind of what this is. I mean, it's the mummy, but it's also about this girl who gets mummified as part of this ritual, and it's like, yeah, we're doing this new version of the Universal mummy character, but at the same time, it could have been called like, mummification or like the mummy's curse or like, some other kind of title that isn't just like, hey, this is the new mummy. And Wolfman was pretty good. We did a live show on it.
I actually enjoed it, but this
yeah.
was way better. I
Yeah.
thought this was leagues better.
Yeah. Also, that movie was very hard to see. It was so dark.
It's too dark, man.
So
These new movies, man, they just underexpose everything.
yeah, absolutely. Well, let's go to you, Kris.
I think our first episode it might have been Evil Dead Rise.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just funny.
Yeah.
The second movie I have is The Substance
Okay.
I love The Substance.
with Demi Moore. A lot of body horror, a lot of like pulling skin off, weird morphing, and like just lots of blood and gore. And like, I wouldn't say this one was hard to watch, but so much gore and that it becomes funny. I don't know if you guys seen The Substance, but
It's so good.
Loved it.
Yeah.
it
Loved
becomes a comedy. It's so grotesque at the end.
Yeah.
And I saw elements of that in this where, I heard people, I wasn't the only one laughing.
No, I giggle.
Oh, no. I think we
always
were all
giggle at
laughing.
inappropriate moments. though,
Yeah.
with
It's
movies.
the same.
Yeah.
So I had some moments like that with this movie where I was like, hell yeah, she spit in her face. Gross.
Hell yeah. I the next movie I'm going to end up bringing up, I brought up as a puzzle piece on my The Substance episode. So I think we're like kind of in a line here. So absolutely. Let's go to you, Nick.
What do I have? Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Ooh.
The pyramid reminded me a lot of the map room of Tanis. It just felt like that. They had light pouring in from one side. It had the structure that was a miniature, all of that. And then of course, just like people, like granted, in Raiders of the Lost Ark, they're just like reading the Torah, but it sounds like demonic incantations,
Sure,
right?
yeah,
Doesn't it?
Yeah.
A little bit. And demons do come out and or angels or whatever they are,
Yeah.
come out and kill everybody. So it had some of that vibe to it as well. So with all of the Egypt stuff and everything. So
Yeah, and it's all shot like really, fantastical and like really like super cool and everything like that.
And
Once all
Raiders
that shit goes down,
Raiders has plenty of gore in it in that final scene.
It
too.
really does.
So it's, I think, it reminds me of that. The face melting is so great.
hell yeah,
So-
love it. Gino, let's go to you.
Honestly, I got nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got nothing.
Well, let's talk about the sound design then for a little bit.
Well,
Was it gross for you? Did you like the grossness?
yeah, I don't mind. I'm gonna tell you a secret, actually. If you're gonna go to a movie theater, sit in the middle so you can get all like the 3D sound.
Yeah.
I did hear some parts that you could just hear like at the back speakers. That was really good. I think they did a fantastic job with sound design. Yeah. Also with the makeup.
Yeah.
With the what do you call it?
Like the
special
prosthetics.
effects.
Yeah, special effects. There you go.
Yeah.
I couldn't think of the name.
Yeah.
That was actually the best for me.
Yeah, lots of gross stuff in there, and if you're going to make a movie like this and like just fill it with all kinds of gross stuff, you want to like really capture
Right.
the special effects, the sound design, all that stuff is going to really sell it. Otherwise, it's just
Yeah.
not really much going on there. So you definitely want
first-
that in there.
That top-down shot where she's getting her guts ripped out. I always have these moments every now and then when I watch a horror film. I'm like, I could have gone without seeing that. Like, like, I love horror films, but every now and then I see an image. I'm like, oh,
I
am
loved
I
it.
happy that I saw that?
I loved it.
Like, it was great, but the fact that it's having that effect on me that I have,
Fair enough.
I have doubts about if it's making me feel good. That means that it's like hitting the fucking spot.
Well, to that point, this is a bit of a tangent, and maybe we'll get into some more puzzle pieces that have to do with this. But a lot of violence towards children in this thing, and like
Yes,
I feel like that is certainly something that we're watching this movie the day that it opens up, and I'm curious to see what the reaction of this movie is because I know it's never a great thing. It's horrible, but like we're in a moment though where violence against children is something that like is a very hot button thing where people are going to go online and really like I think rail against this movie possibly. I'm really curious how that reaction is going to go.
I think it's less violence on children and more violence from children in this movie.
Well, possibly. I mean, they're to themselves too. So,
Sure.
The abducting stuff is definitely very relevant right now. Maybe they'll
Yeah.
rail against it. Maybe people will find that it's contextually like very relevant.
I just remember with Dr. Sleep, the prequel or whatever too. I remember how upset people
that was a
were.
brutal
Really?
scene, though, man.
Yeah, it was brutal, but people were upset about that scene. So I don't know. We'll see what happens once this movie is out. Speaking of gory effects and the substance, I'm going with Dead Alive. Peter Jackson's Dead Alive.
yeah. Yeah.
Lots of gross, gooey, nasty stuff going on at a dinner party in the food and all that kind of
Yeah,
stuff.
dude.
Uh,
The freaking deviled eggs.
Oh, so gross.
still ate 'em.
And you also have somebody in the house who like is going to ruin that party. Like, there's no chance it's not
I
going to
didn't think
happen.
they were going to go that way, and
Yeah.
they did. It was nice.
Yeah, if you've got
I was hoping they'd take out the whole party, though.
I was too. Yeah, I was definitely hoping that. That's the Evil Dead fan in me.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, Dead Alive is so good for anyone who hasn't seen it. The grandma is like kind of falling apart upstairs, and of course it's gonna go really bad. But yeah, Dead Alive,
Good practical effects.
the best practical
Squirting
effects ever.
explosion effects. I love that movie.
So good, so good. Let's go to one more from you, Chris.
One more from me. Do I have to look at my notes or am I going to remember? Pet Cemetery.
No, okay.
That's good.
Bringing back little kids from the dead.
Yeah, there you go. Speaking of, yeah.
And again, it has that Evil Dead feel to it, but I immediately thought of Pet Cemetery. Just bringing back people from the dead who look all messed up, and scratches on their face and whatnot.
People fucking with things that they shouldn't.
Oh, we can curse on this? Hell yeah. Yeah, with their face all fucked up and shit.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Let's go to you, Nick.
Babadook is what
Okay.
came to mind for me. Lots of screaming children. That's good stuff too. But it's mainly the containing of the evil in the house and this tradition of the fact that they're like, I mean, in Babadook, it's a metaphor for grief, but in theirs is that they're actually just having to contain this thing in their house and that's their like bloodline. That's their responsibility. And I found that kind of to be fascinating. Yeah, I'm not really sure if I have much more to say about that, but yeah, I'm just kind of babysitting a demonic presence in your space.
Yeah, absolutely, and that responsibility that comes with it, because it's on them. It's on them or no one else. So, yeah, absolutely. Gino, you got anything else you want to bring up?
I got nothing. I think you got the wrong person on the podcast.
I think you're the perfect person.
I'm not gonna lie.
You're killing it.
Yeah.
It's all good, Gino.
Well, I will say something about the sound since we wrecked you. The tapping in the beginning, and they did a lot of sound transitions, which I really enjoyed.
It felt the fact that this thing the sound design was these threads that were constantly intertwining, and almost all the transitions started with a sound, at least the ones that I noticed. Not a lot of hard cuts at all. If there is a hard cut, there's a sound that's coming before it to kind of introduce all of that. Even the sound of the tape winding down with the song, I was like,
oh,
man,
sure,
that was fucking great. And I feel like a fucking fool as a filmmaker, because I'm like, I do the sound design on my own films, and I'm like, how have I not gone to these lengths with the stuff that I do? Because this is
money,
brilliant stuff. No, it's about time.
Yeah, time and money.
But I know how to do all that stuff. It's just it hadn't occurred to me, and I do like hard cuts. I'm not gonna lie, but it hadn't occurred to me to like really fully thread things together like that. I was really impressed with that.
Yeah.
I can't think of another movie that has gone to that length to weave all these different sounds together to where they kind of flow.
I saw one recently.
It's like a symphony almost, you know?
Yeah.
I think Weapons does it really well.
Well, and Weapons is actually another movie that came to mind. I mean, obviously it just came out last year, but still, definitely feels in conversation with this movie, and feels like we're dealing with a lot of the same, ideas here and similar issues.
Yeah, children going missing, then them attacking people. Yeah.
If this kidnapper was more developed, she could have been like a really cool like antagonist kind of character, like an Aunt Gladys. But she's a much smaller character though within this particular movie. But she was good in the like couple of minutes she was there being creepy. So yeah.
It seems like that's really like a common thing going on in just the arts right now, and like film.
Stealing children?
Well, I mean, with the Epstein stuff, I'm not trying to get political about it, but it's in the zeitgeist of what everyone's talking about.
Exactly.
Right? And I think that just means that it's something that's a kind of it bothers everyone.
Yeah.
And it's interesting that's kind of
it's our worst fear.
That's kind of the thing that's like popular in film right now, because I can't think of an era of film where it was that prevalent. But it really is kind of in a lot of stuff right now. It's crazy.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, dark stuff. I want to open it up to the floor, see if we have any puzzle pieces out here. Anybody right over there?
So I thought of a movie from 2016 called The Boy. It's about like a little porcelain doll.
Yeah.
This lady's watching. So in it, one of the big things is how he's moving around the house, and there's a guy living inside the walls, and so there's like a huge final sequence where they're chasing each other through the walls of the house.
Yes.
So that also made me think of Conjuring. I think in the first Conjuring movie, they're also chasing the daughter through like the walls of the house, and I also got a lot of Conjuring vibe, just like possession, demonic entity tearing the family up, involving the kids.
Yeah.
The Conjuring and The Boy.
Yeah, The Conjuring goes along with The Exorcist, of course, and like, similar kind of things going on there. But I'm so glad you brought up The Boy, because first of all, with the effects on her face and everything like that, but especially the running through the walls. What is up with the design of this house?
It's amazing.
I know.
Like, can we get a full 2 feet in between each wall, please? Like,
Wow.
If I ever make a house, I'm doing exactly that.
Yeah.
What do you do with that if that's your house?
Storage.
Oh my God, that's
It's
crazy.
where the scorpions live, apparently.
Yeah. Oh God. Anybody right over here?
I had two. I also had Dead Alive. That's a great pull.
Hell yeah.
The Mummy's Tomb from 1942.
Was that a direct Mummy movie?
Yeah, that was.
Yeah.
I want to say third or fourth
Okay.
Universal Mummy movie, where they brought back the hit character Steve Bannon, who they just put into old age makeup and made it several decades into the future, which completely fucked the entire timeline. Anyway,
Hell yeah.
it was the first Mummy movie to travel to the United States, and that's about it. That was really the only.
Hey,
it's a Mummy movie. And
Albuquerque.
They went to the States.
Yeah.
And then I also, because of all the violence against children and the great sound design, I thought Hereditary.
I was surprised none of them said that.
Yeah, Hereditary. Yeah, it's definitely similar. Well, these contained ones where they're in a house.
Yeah,
This
yeah.
movie feels bigger than that, so maybe that's why it didn't come to my mind. But it is very contained once they get home.
They both have
Well-
weird little girls with weird eyes.
Weird little girls, yeah, and then they also have the culty kind of
Yeah.
stuff going on up in the in an attic there. But here it's wherever the hell that thing was being filmed.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
speaking of the tape, before we go to another piece, 8mm was another one that I
thought of that
kept
too.
thinking about.
Interesting.
So you know, they're like obsessed with watching the tape, even though they know it's going to like destroy them. But right over here.
And that would add The Ring too, you know.
Oh,
The
yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
Demon possessed girl on the videotape. I mean, that's like a seminal film too. Like before and after The Shining, I think The Ring influenced so many,
Definitely, yes.
you know, American Western filmmakers too.
Yeah, and more great sound design too.
Yeah.
Like you know, so that is definitely a great one to bring up here.
That's a good one.
And right here.
Yeah, I was also thinking The Ring, but when she peeled her toenail off and the whole piece of skin came off,
Great.
I just thought of like Black Swan.
Oh, good. Yeah, yeah.
That's like a really, but I think this movie did a lot of like cherry picking of like really cool things that you see in a lot of other movies and just kind of conglomerated it into one thing. Because there were a lot of like little shots and stuff that, ooh, that reminds me of that, and that reminds me of that. It's a great puzzle piece.
Yeah, it's great for
There
puzzle
were
pieces.
So many different things you could reference in it, but it kind of came together like, let's take all these amazing horror movies and put it in like Chat GTP. And this is the and it.
Good job,
I kind of found
ChatGPT.
it
Yeah.
more comedic. I didn't find it scary at all, and I'm normally a big weenie, so.
Yeah. No, I think I also found it more funny than anything, but that makes me happy. Like that's what I wanted out of it.
Same.
So I'm
Same.
all for that. So right over there.
There's a couple of scenes left, piggybacking on what she said. Barbarian, when they're going down into that huge basement.
Yeah,
Also,
like that.
A little bit of Heretic.
Yeah.
When they're heading down into that basement, and she's just kind of contained with another area. Like how big are these places? Like you
Yeah.
said earlier.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It reminds me of
Also,
People Under the
another
Stairs.
Kind of slight one was when the girl was calling her a rat cunt.
Yeah.
But it was happening in the house. It reminded me of like E.T. when he was controlling Elliot.
Yeah.
in the classroom.
He was making Elliot say,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
You know, he was getting drunk. Elliot was feeling the effects from a distance.
I love the connection between that line and E.T. Wonderful. Wonderful stuff. Hand up there.
Yeah, so, you know how, like, the house was, like, kind of, decaying?
Yeah.
It was kind of emanating from Katie. That reminded me a lot of, Relic, 2020.
Oh, Relic's a really good movie. Yeah.
Yeah, it was all that kind of slime on the walls and stuff.
That's interesting too, because like with Relic, it was because of, if I remember, it was like a dementia like metaphor, and like with this, they even say that like it's gonna, this demon wants to like tear families apart, and that I felt was like an underdeveloped thing here. Like they could have like gone further into that with the decay of the house, like that could have tied in a little bit more. I don't know, but yeah, Relic's a really good movie and good
And then,
good pull.
you know, when the boy was banging his head against the bedpost,
Mhm.
he was possessed kind of thing. That reminded me a little bit of Talk to Me.
Oh yeah, that's
Talk
a
to
good
Me
one.
was great. Yeah.
That's a great one.
Windowsill, the counter.
Yeah.
And it was made by YouTubers.
Yeah.
Talk to Me was made by YouTubers,
Yeah.
absolutely. Yeah, and yeah, I'm like one of the few people who did not like Talk to Me, but I liked
I haven't
the
seen it.
second movie that they made, Bring Her Back.
Oh, I never.
That was
I
really
never saw
good, and that could work here too, kind of. But
Actually, the smashing of the face thing and the smashing of the teeth in Bring Her Back, which that reminds me a lot of that.
yeah, there you go. More violence against kids, of course.
Against themselves.
Yeah, against themselves.
He
Yeah,
did it to himself.
Yeah, so it's
Like
okay.
something out of a '70s movie.
it's
What
okay.
was that Kiefer Sutherland movie where that lady like stabs herself in the neck with a mirror? It's like from the mid 2000s.
I'm not sure.
I think it's called Mirror.
Oh,
But
there we go. All right,
Mirrors is great. Yeah,
Kiefer
that's fun.
Sutherland?
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
a good one.
good stuff.
Amy
You guys saw
Smart.
a hand right here?
This is more of a question, but I can add a puzzle piece.
Yeah.
Let's say Carrie. Brian De Palma uses a lot of split diopter.
Sure.
I was
Yeah.
gonna say
And I
that
was
too.
curious, what y'all's actual like final opinion of the movie was, because I don't think we really covered the exact like grade level of the film. But What'd you think of the split diopter shots? This is shit.
Yeah, no,
There's
no.
plenty.
Does he do that much stuff?
Yeah.
Split variable diopters in Evil Dead Rise?
That's what I'm trying to remember. I'm sure.
I don't think so at all.
There's a few.
Is there a few?
I just watched it the other day.
There,
There's a
I mean,
couple.
Okay.
that was
So-
definitely a '70s trend. Like De Palma used it all the time. Even Scorsese used it a lot.
Tarantino uses it.
Tarantino uses it. But
For anyone
Tarantino-
here who doesn't know what a split diopter, will you explain for everybody?
So when you've got a lens on your camera, it'll focus only in a certain space, certain area range. Split variable diopter is literally a lens cut in half that goes on the front of it to create a second focal point on the other side of the frame. And you can move that line, that splitting line, wherever you want. And he used it in some really creative ways where the line split was actually at an angle across the lateral of the frame. Typically, you'd see it like in Blowout, where you've got John Travolta on one side of the frame in focus, and then the girl that he rescued is in the hospital room in the back, and she's in focus, but they're in entirely different planes.
Sometimes they
of
even use
focus.
two cameras to do it.
Sometimes, but it's typically more just done with that half lens. They just kind of throw it on there. So, when he started doing it, I was like, "This is awesome!" And then he did it like to death, and I was like, "I'm
does
okay."
it a
I'm
lot.
okay with it because I love that type of shit. But it was really cool.
I really like it as well.
Well, we'll get into some closing thoughts here since that was the question. What do you guys think of the movie overall? Let's go down the line.
It was all right. It was all right.
Yeah.
I seen better. Like, I mean, there's better horror films. Like Psycho is really good.
Psycho is a
Yeah.
great
I heard of
movie.
that movie.
I actually had Psycho as a puzzle piece on mine. That staircase in the wheelchair immediately.
Yeah,
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 good stuff,
yeah, I
good
can
stuff.
see that.
Yeah, was this boring or was it less boring than some of the other movies you've seen?
I don't really watch horror because a lot of horror is boring.
Yeah.
So when I really like talk about some movie that's horror, that means I really like it.
We'll get you on a non-horror movie next time. How about that? How about you, Chris?
My final thoughts?
Yeah.
I'll give it I think it's a solid 7.8.
Oh,
I think it's pretty good. I didn't really like the dad all that much. He's a little weird to me. I didn't feel anything from him.
The actor or the character?
Both.
Yeah,
I
the
love
actor-
that actor because
Really?
he is unnerving. He is kind of like
I just didn't get
kind of a
anything
pansy,
from
and
him.
I love that about how
I
he
didn't-
plays his characters.
I didn't feel any emotion.
Yeah, I see
it
what
seemed
you
like
mean.
my buddy down the street just got in this movie.
Yeah, it felt like that. It did feel like he was not really an actor. You know.
Agreed.
Yeah, it
He's like
didn't
my
fe-
friend Steve.
Yeah.
He is like
Yeah.
Exactly.
Timu Chris
Yeah.
Pratt. I like it.
Kroger brand Chris Pratt.
I like it.
Oh my goodness.
But overall, I love the grotesqueness that makes it funny. I thought the story was pretty good. Your average investigative, nothing blowing your head out of the water.
Yeah.
But I did really like the second ending too. They gave you what the audience wanted was because when they left.
Sorry.
No worries. When they left the dad in the coffin, I was like, why don't you just go put him in another body?
Mm-hmm.
And then cut to, I was like, fuck yeah.
Yeah. Let's do this. Yeah.
I really like directors that give the audience what they want. And I
Yeah.
think this is exactly that kind of movie. Just give the audience the skin coming up. Give them the two shots. Let's steal this shot from over here. Let's take this from over here. Let's give them all of everything.
Yeah.
And he did, and I liked it.
That's the one thing I agree that they actually tell you, oh, this is gonna happen. Instead of just leaving, like he said, the body and the dad.
Leaving it as a cliffhanger for a sequel, which we all would have expected, right?
Yeah, sure.
I'd watch
Yeah.
The
Thanks for
Mummy
that.
too.
Yeah.
As long as they don't make it a universe.
Also-
That's
also-
what we don't want.
Also, what I liked is that they showed the whole tape. Instead of just showing parts.
That is an
That's it,
interesting choice.
It was.
Yeah. Yeah.
good.
Normally we
That's
just
good.
get little bits and pieces. But
Right.
yeah, we get to see that little girl get turned into a mummy in real time. So lovely. How about you, Nick?
I think I liked it the most out of everybody here. I mean, when movies are derivative and they pull from other things, my question is, okay, they pulled it from something else, but how well did they pull it off?
Sure. Yeah.
And I think this film pulls a lot of those things off incredibly well. There are things about it that I didn't like. I think the dialogue of the little girl while has the demon in her, I think all that dialogue is pretty much terrible.
I loved it.
I was like, in my head, I'm like, I'm a screenwriter. Maybe I'm snobby enough to think that I could, fix this film or whatever. But that dialogue, I'm like, man, you could have had her say this and that. Like, would have been more compelling instead of just leaning so hard into the cute, creepy little girl thing.
Yeah, sure.
You know,
I agree.
I mean, that's kind of what's interesting about The Exorcist is that the voice coming out of Regan is not a little girl trying to be cute and creepy that we've seen in other Blumhouse movies. So that's probably the one thing that I wasn't really crazy about in the film, but I was absolutely enthralled by the sound design. I still can't get over that. I mean, maybe it's just me, but I watch a lot of movies and I have not seen anything that was this layered and seamless as far as transitions and all of that. And I geek out on that so fucking hard. I love that stuff because one thing, I know how freaking hard it is to do, but two, it's like writing a fucking fantastic, not just a song, but an album that's amazing front to back, right? Because it's an 1.5-hour movie. But honestly, that final scene where they pass the demon to somebody else, I actually didn't want that scene. Where I thought it was gonna end, I was like, this is great. They have the perfect cliffhanger for another movie. I would see another one of these. No complaints here. Then they did that, and it felt like fan fiction to me. All of that stuff aside, I still was amazed by some of the moments that I was like, that really got under my skin. And I don't want to say that it's necessarily hard for that to happen, but it is noticeable to me. Like I mentioned before, the grandma with her getting her guts ripped out, like that was something that I just did not want to fucking happen in the movie.
Yeah.
Right. And then when it happened, it was like, holy shit, you know, and the whole, wake of the body of grandma and on her like, attacking people in that sphere. Like I would never have expected that to happen in a Blumhouse film.
Yeah.
It's a Blumhouse typically would be like, that's too much.
Yeah.
Like,
think so?
I think so.
I think so too. Yeah.
Blumhouse is always trying to curtail things a little bit back in a lot
they're
of their
safe.
films. They do. They play it safe almost too much.
Yeah.
And the fact that they didn't do that in this, they just kept giving it to you. I was like,
the
the
dentures.
dentures
That was
were
awesome.
fucking great. Yeah, and even a lot of the exposition and the writing, they explained an enormous amount in the first 7 minutes just with dialogue alone, and not a lot of it felt forced. That's really hard to do.
Yeah.
So there's just so many things in this film that they did well that I'm not really put off by the fact that a lot of it was homages to other things.
Well, you know why they actually went there in this movie? It's not Blumhouse's The Mummy. It's Lee Cronin's The Mummy.
It's trying to make a mark.
There you
Yeah, that's
go.
right.
I think he did it.
That's right.
I think
I think he
did it.
accomplished it. I think it's great. I mean, as far as the Universal properties or any of the IPs that Blumhouse has tried to reboot, I don't know. I like this better than probably all of them.
I mean, Invisible Man
agree.
was really good.
I'm not crazy about the Halloween stuff. I wasn't crazy
it's
about
terrible.
Wolfman.
I love the Halloween movies.
No, I didn't like the new trilogy. It felt fan fictioning to me all the way.
I'm a fan.
So,
It's fiction.
But no, this one, like, I don't know. I just thought they did it well. So
I was mixed overall, but like I agree with you, Nick, about the sound design. Like fantastic,
Incredible.
and that is what I was really looking forward to with this movie because that was one of my favorite things about Evil Dead Rise, and I was like, this dude seems to like really care about making stuff squishy and gross and nasty, and like he's gonna really bring it with that. And so, yeah, definitely one of my favorite things about the movie. I did think it was a little messy. It felt like a 3-hour movie that got cut down or something like that.
I was like, is that
love
over
that.
yet?
Yeah.
Like, come on.
There's too many loose things going on and story wise, and like why did she know how to do that incantation at the end? And like I don't know.
It was on the videotape.
Yeah, but did she study it?
She memorized the shit. Yeah.
She memorized all that one time. But
There were some moments where I was like, yeah, I think they cut something out there.
Yeah.
Especially when he was going through the letters, they were just like, "Here's a box of letters."
Yeah.
I assume you know this is from America.
oh fuck, I forgot about
That
my
your
box
daughter-
of letters that I keep downstairs.
Yeah, but to say something about the sound design that I noticed that it's not just something that's done in post in the mix, right? Like it is something that a lot of these moments were methodically written in the storyboard.
Yeah.
Right, because her snipping the scissors and you hearing that sound before they cut to that scene of her in the classroom.
Good stuff.
That's
direction.
something that was totally storyboarded out.
Yeah.
Right, and the fact that Lee Cronin, I'm assuming, and not some other person that's involved. Usually, Blumhouse has their producers have a lot of input, but I'm assuming that he just really went to town on that. Like, I want my transitions to all be like this. I don't
Hell
know.
yeah.
I just
Yeah, I've never seen a movie like that. The only movie that comes close is Warfare. That's like good sound design.
Warfare is
But-
great sound design.
But like a film that uses like sound design with like transitions, I have never seen that.
I think Weapons
Yeah.
I've
does
seen it, just not as often. It's like every scene.
I have never seen it.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think they do it a lot too in Blade Runner 2099. I don't know.
I've
The
never
sound
seen
design in
it.
that movie is nuts too.
Yeah.
Good
But
stuff all
the only
around
thing that it sucks is like people who never seen it or who are not gonna see it in theater are not gonna experience the full sound design at home.
And that's why you should go to the movie theaters, folks.
Go to the
Yeah,
movies.
yeah.
Especially Maya Cinemas. Chris, tell people where they can find you and everything you're up to.
You could find me at Spiral Out Pod on Instagram. Well, Spiral_out_pod. You can find me at Spiral Out Network on YouTube and Spiral Out podcast.com. Has everything.
It'll all be in the show notes, everybody.
Spiral Out. You Google that, you'll find me.
You'll find them. Nick, how about you?
I'm mainly just on Instagram. Ghost Chaser Nick is what you can find on that. My film company is Ghost Chaser Productions. I don't really post on there because I haven't shot anything underneath that production company in about 2 years. So we will be shooting something soon underneath that, but it's been a long road to get here. So you can check me out on that. I also started a thing here in Vegas called Sin City Horror Club. You can join that Facebook group or follow that Instagram. We don't really have any events planned right now. We're taking a little bit of a break, but there might be something popping up in the future.
Always a fun time whenever you do something. Gino, how about you?
You can find me on Instagram, and also you can find me outside.
Like Catch Me Outside?
Yeah.
Love it.
So yeah, I'm on Instagram on After Hours Neon. I haven't told a lot of people this, but I am working on a documentary. It's kind of secret, you know.
Cool.
It's about music.
anymore.
It's about music. Means a lot to me. But I'm not a director. So yeah.
Awesome. Well, everybody check out all of their stuff. I will be at Galaxy Theaters Boulevard Mall next Thursday, the 23rd, for Michael, the Michael Jackson biopic.
Oh, nice.
And then also this weekend here at Wax Trax Records, my record store, we'll be doing Record Store Day on Saturday. So if you're around, come by and check it out. We'll be announcing another show here at Maya Cinemas very soon. And thank you, everybody, so much for being here tonight.
Thanks for having me.
Have you ever caught a ghost? Did you ever catch a
No, it's
ghost?
a metaphor.
Just chasing.
It's a metaphor.
Hi, this is Wax Trax Records here on 2909 South Decatur. We buy all your old 45s, your old albums, any type of music memorabilia. Also, we sell music memorabilia, albums, CDs, and a lot. Come on down to Wax Trax, 2909 South Decatur, or give me a call at 702-362-4300. Thank you very much.
All right, so I hope you enjoyed that conversation about The Mummy. Thank you to Maya Cinemas for having us out. Thank you to Knik Woods, Kris West, and Gino Ristoski for joining me on that one. And thank you to everyone who showed up. It was such a last-minute show. We only announced it last Monday and had a really nice crowd turnout for the show. So really, really thank you to everyone who showed up. Hopefully, we will see some of you at Michael this coming Thursday at Galaxy Theaters Boulevard Mall. It's our second time over there, hoping to do more shows in the future at Galaxy Theaters. So show up this Thursday. It's April 23rd, 6 p.m. Check piecingpod.com for more info. And while you're at it, make sure you are subscribed to Piecing It Together. You could also follow me on social media at piecingpod and join the Facebook group Popcorn and Puzzle Pieces, where I continue the conversation about all the movies we talk about here on the show. Also, I want to remind you, we do have a Patreon, the Produced by David Rosen Patreon, where I post bonus and advanced content from Piecing It Together, from Awesome Movie Year, which is another movie podcast I produce, and from my music career. Lots of great stuff at patreon.com/piecingpod. So with that said, time to close this out with a piece of music like I always do. And I've got no shortage of dark, creepy, just creepy crawly music to play that would fit in a movie like The Mummy, because that is kind of my specialty. So what should I play? Let's see. I haven't played anything from this in a while. I'm going to go with a track from The Dissection Table, which was a film score that I released as a soundtrack album a few years back. I'm going to go with the track More Than Flesh from that score. So hope you enjoy this, and we'll be back with more Piecing It Together real soon.
An All Points West production, produced by David Rosen in Las Vegas.